Welcome back to the Achilles channel, the home of the counter-revolution. Today I just wanted to go over a few things that have happened in the country in the last couple, just little things that I would like to talk about. There was a girl, she was in school and she was in art class, and she drew an American flag and it said "God Bless America" on it, and her school teacher singled her out of the class and made a point to tell her that that was offensive, and to let everybody know in school that that was offensive. She drew an American flag, and that's offensive. See, the progressive movement has adopted this saying from this quote from Thomas Jefferson: "Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberties." See, the progressive movement doesn't care about the preservation of our liberties. What they care about is the educate and inform. Educate and inform. Indoctrinate. Teach them what you want them to believe. Have you noticed there's a lot of young people who hate America? Why do they hate America? Do they understand America? No, they don't. They don't even know what we are. If you ask any of them, they'll tell you that this country is a democracy, when it's not. It's a republic. It was founded as a republic. But the progressive movement and this government has made a conscious effort with the media, with the help of the mainstream media, to brainwash the American people into believing that this is a democracy. Isn't that incredible? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And what is wrong with a democracy? A democracy. A democracy is always temporary in nature. It simply cannot exist as a permanent form of government. A democracy will continue to exist up until the time the voters discover they can vote themselves generous gifts from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates who promise the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that every democracy will finally collapse due to loose fiscal policy, which is always followed by a dictatorship. This was written in 1787 by Alexander Tytler, a Scottish history professor at the University of Edinburgh. History shows that a democracy leads to dictatorship. And who's in position with the most power to take power after anarchy? To create this dictatorship? The government. The government. They'll change what we are. They'll fundamentally transform who we are. When anarchy comes in, and they'll use it, we've got to have security. A democracy fails. They're convincing this country that we are a democracy. They are offering things like the health care program, Social Security, all of these things that people love, some people rely on, depend on now. And it was designed to be that way. Because you can't shut down something that was never supposed to be offered when people are dependent on it. You can't. How can you do that? And morally, how can you do that? But really what it is these are devices to destroy this country. Ticking time bombs. It creates a debt bomb that is going to go off. And now they just, another, health care bill, which is going to lead to universal health care. Because as soon as the insurance companies raise their rates this year, it's going up. The reformation will begin for the universal health care. Government-run health care. That is a fact. It's happening. Another thing that happened this week, there was an elderly home. They said that they told the seniors that they could no longer pray before the meal because the meal was provided by the government, and they fell on the sword of separation of church and state. It's an attack on religion. It's an attack on Christianity. You see, they're attacking patriotism, Christianity. Danny Glover refused to put his hand over his heart during the Pledge of Allegiance. And somebody in the audience yelled out, "Hey Glover, put your hand over your heart," and he refused. Asked about later, he said, oh, he didn't even realize it. He was caught up in the music, in the national anthem. That's what he was. No, he was cussing the whole time it was happening because he's a communist. He's a Hugo Chavez Castro communist, just like our president. They hate this country. That's why they want to fundamentally transform it. Let me just read. I just want to read a couple quotes from Thomas Jefferson. A government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take everything you have. Not only property, not only wealth, but liberties. Your liberties are in jeopardy here with this regime, with this government the way it is, Republican and Democrat alike. When we put Republicans in, this November they're going to start the process of taking back all of this stuff, these policies that this administration has pushed through. And you're going to see violence in the street by the left, which is what this regime wants, anarchy. Because that's what happens in a democracy. You can't afford this government altruism. But it doesn't matter. The ends justify the means. They're going to destroy it in order to take over. And that's what they're doing. God bless America.